Namaste, Jai Bharat. I happened to hear a narration in social media. Someone was doing, just forgot the person's name, who was making a comparison between fear-based religions and freedom-based religion. Then, of course, this is something which I just run through that. I heard it. And whatever is narrated is not new to me because we had been knowing this for a long time. But then it's said by someone else who's not a Hindu, who's not a Bharatiya, who's not from Bharat. He's not a Hindu, he's from some other nation, some other country. He was making a comparison between fear-based religion and freedom-based religion. And he tries to say that the only freedom-based religion, of course, we don't call Hindu Dharma as religion because Dharma is a different concept which is apt or appropriate in understanding Bharatiya Dharmas, which of course it has to be translated into English only as religion. Fine. Dharma is an appropriate term for Bharatiya religions. I'm using the word religion for want of another word. See, this person makes a comparison between, I suppose, makes a comparison between Semitic religions and Hindu Dharma. Of course, I would go several steps ahead because we had been working on it for some time. Fear-based religion, Semitic religions. Fear, of course, fear of what is a question. Fear of what is a question. I would add one thing. Semitic religions also can be called as God-based religion or God-centered religion. Whereas Bharatiya Dharmas, all Bharatiya Dharmas, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the Jain, the Bauddha, and the Sikh, these are Bharatiya original dharmas. The Semitic religions are God-centered religion, so to say, and Bharatiya dharmas are man-centered religion. Second difference. She was talking about fear-based religion and freedom-based religion. I'm adding to that God-centered religion and man-centered religion. Then another thing, the concept of salvation in Semitic tradition is an akin concept of liberation in Bharatiya dharmas. One side is liberation, another one is its salvation. And these two are also different. Salvation providing religion and liberation providing dharmas in Bharat. Third difference. I shall only focus on three for the time being. Otherwise, this video can run into hours. No point. Now, why? I would start from the last. Salvation-based religion and liberation-based dharmas. In salvation is a gift. A gift based on, quote-unquote, infinite mercy of God. God-centeredness comes. Where salvation is granted at the infinite mercy of God, whichever is the Semitic religion, whichever. It's a gift given. How you get it is a long process. You go by all the rules and you serve God, and a lot of narratives are there. And you perform such narratives, and still, if this God, who is a person, another question, God is a person in Semitic traditions. If the God person wishes to give you salvation by taking you to heaven, they have these clear concepts of heaven and hell, then you will be given salvation. But liberation, on the other hand, is not, God has no role in liberation or moksha. Moksha in Sanatana Dharma, moksha in Sanatana Dharma, Kaivalya in Jain Dharma, Nirvana or Nibbana in Pali in Bauddha Dharma, and moksha again in Sikh Dharma. They're all akin concepts, similar concepts. They are not granted by any God question. We don't concern, since they're already man-centered religion and not God-centered religion. God has no role to play. If at all people believe in a kind of God, there's no faith in God in any of this tradition. There are only faith in deities. just deities and sometimes Guru Parampara. So, moksha, that's liberation, is not granted where a deity or God has no hand in it. It's something which a human being earns for himself, by himself, and attains. It's achieved. It's not delivered to him from above. It's he hardened, he achieves, and he conquers it, and it becomes his right. That's one difference. Then God-centeredness, man-centeredness. Because God, everything runs around God. That you work for God, you do this for God, you do that for God, and God will do this to you. God created you, and God gave you life, this and that. This, you are dependent. But the moment you treat yourself as a creation, then the creation always depends on the Creator, which is presumed as a God. And also, interestingly, personal God. That attributes all the personal qualities to the concept of God. Fine. Whereas, man-centered religion, everything is for man. Man's transcendent longing results in a kind of dharma concept. It's man's transcendent longing. It's fundamentally from within a man who transcends, because he understands that the self or soul is really not different from what is ultimately real, and that the ultimate real can be understood in various ways. Can be understood. And you are supposed to achieve, go and become one with what is ultimate real. What is the ultimate reality? You have to become one with that. That is what moksha means. And in all other dharmas also, that's what moksha means. In Nirvana, you become like Tathagata, or you become one with the Tathagata. In Kaivalya, you become like Tirthangara, or become another Tirthangara. And of course, in Sikh Dharma, moksha, becoming one with what is ultimately real through the concept of Guru. These things are the one and the same, not really different. They're only functionally different, but not really different philosophically, not different in their core. So God-centeredness and man-centeredness is still a distinction. Then I'll come back to the point which she was making in the long video, fear-based and freedom-based. Now what makes her call it as fear-based religion is because the religion is driven by two principles of promises of rewards and fear of punishment. Interesting, promises of rewards and fear of punishment, fears of punishment. You do this, you keep obeying God, you have these rewards. That's what the terrorists are influenced actually. The jihadi terrorists are very much convinced about the promises of reward, and the jihadi terrorists makes jihad as a shortcut to achieve. They believe in a heaven. I'll add one more thing if this time permitting about heaven hell concept. We don't have heaven and hell concepts in Bharat. There the human beings are taken to heaven, and in heaven you are given all these kinds of promises which are forbidden during this earthly life, and therefore the real life is life after death, and the life here on the what you live in there doesn't matter. It is not real. It's only a temporary, fake kind of life. And here, of course, even if you suffer, doesn't make a difference. After death, everything is there for you. That's a very strong kind of deception, as I understand. Very strong kind of deceptions. People don't really live their lives on earth. They keep sacrificing things which they otherwise would have wanted in anticipation of getting all those things after death. And what kind of certainty anyone can offer about this kind of a life after death apart from somebody's very strong faith? It's a faith that leads them, and which eventually leads a jihadi to perform jihad, because jihad is actually a shortcut to heaven, where he is offered all kinds of lectures which he really wants, while even on earth, but is forbidden. So that kind of fear of punishment by if you disobey God, tremendous kinds of punishments. Tremendous. The wrath of God is a thing which threatens you and which makes you shiver and tremble. So fear of punishments and the promises of reward. And then on the other hand, if you come to Bharatiya Dharmas, there is no promises of reward, and there is no threatenings and fear. So this person, Shiva, who made this narrative this morning, calls it as freedom. Of course, you're free. You're free to pray, not to pray. You're free to worship, not to worship it. And someone who doesn't believe in God is still a Hindu. It's not necessary that you have to believe in a God or deity. We don't have God in capital letters, we have only God in small letters. They are deities, not ultimately real. You don't have to believe in anything, you don't have to perform any rituals, you don't have to go to any temples, you don't have to do anything. You don't even believe in such deities. You don't even believe in that life after death. Of course, we don't believe in life after death in that manner. You don't even believe in something of help from supernatural. With all those things, you still remain a Hindu. You will never cease to be a Hindu just because you don't believe in a deity, you don't go to temple, you don't follow rituals, you're free. That's freedom. That's freedom of choice. You can do anything, you can choose. And apart from that, within the frame of the Sanatana Dharma, you're free to choose many deities. There are as many deities as you can think of, or more than what you can think of. And you can pick up anything which suits your convenience. There are multiple deities, different. They are different. There are vegetarian deities, there are non-vegetarian deities, all those things. If you want to take non-veg, then you go this way. If you want to be vegetarian, then you have this way. So even such freedom is available. So, on a broad sense is the term. Of course, she is actually right that freedom-based religion and fear-based religion. One more thing I'll add, though I didn't want to add last time, maybe in 1 minute or 2 minutes time. People believe in heaven and hell in Semitic traditions, and in Bharat there is no question of heaven and hell. We have a concept of Swarga, which is translated as heaven, and there human beings don't go. Swarga, heaven in Bharat, is a place where the deities live. It's also called as Devloka, where deities live. Human being has no role. So there is no question of human being after death entering heaven and enjoying life. No way, you can't go there. Devloka is a world itself which has a king. That is Devrajindra, which has an army, Devsena. Not that Devsena, Devsena. And the army has a chief, Devsenapati. That's Kartikeya, whom the Yazidis worship, who comes on peacock. Who the Yazidis worship. The Yazidis are actually Hindus. Hindus in disguise, I should say. They are really Hindus. That's Kartikeya. So this is heaven, where we don't go. Human beings can't go. Devarajindra don't permit you to enter into heaven. And hell. Oh, hell is a wonderful place where all kinds of non-righteous people, adharmis, live. One word, adharmis. Those who are not law-abiding, all kinds of negative qualities. Daitya, Danava, Rakshasa, all those people can live. And the characteristics of hell is that there is no torture, there is no punishment, there is nothing like that. There is lawlessness. Might is right. Lawlessness is what makes hell really terrible. So hell is bad because it's a lawless place. Not that after death you are fried in oil and yet you don't die. That kind of very crude narratives. And this is so we don't have concept of heaven as it is there in Semitic tradition. We don't have concept of hell as it is there in Semitic tradition. We have translations of Swarga and Naraka, which of course people treat as akin to heaven and hell, but they really are not the same. They're entirely different things. So the difference between the fear-based religion and freedom-based religion, as she was making in her video, I forgot her name unfortunately, is interesting. I have added 3-4 ingredients to it. In fact, this is much deeper and much more than what's at the surface level. We shall meet again. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.